feature presentation.
This is Ed McMahon. And now, here's Andrew.
Andrew Z. Call up that Andrew Z. I said Andrew Z. In the morning, it's time to wake up. Andrew Z. In the morning, yeah. Come on.
What is up, everybody? Our first show of the new year. I'm Andrew Z. Look at there, everybody. Demetrius Nicodemus. He says outside Gina. Chris Tiefel. Oh, look at that. Donnie P. Cheryl Nelson already checking in this morning. Oh, man, it's going to be a good day. Our first show of 2021, the year of our Lord. Let's do this.
Andrew Z. In the morning.
Woo! Yeah, I don't know, Andrew. 2020 was the year of our Lord as well, and that pretty much sucked.
Yeah,
I don't know if we should keep that tag.
You might be right. This is gonna be a huge year for everyone. I feel it in my bones.
We made it.
What's that? We made it.
We made it through.
Donnie P, this is how you know it's going to be a good year. The Browns are in the playoffs.
So honestly, like if the Browns were ever going to win the Super Bowl, wouldn't it be the 2020 season? Like, wouldn't it make sense?
Yes.
For the Browns
When
to
the
make it
fans
happen?
can't go. Yeah.
Right,
It seems like a sign of the apocalypse.
And this is why I say we should really look back and say, what is different now about the Browns season? We always complained that they were a horrible team, but now we realize we just have horrible fans. They win when the shitty fans don't show up. It's always been a Browns fan problem. This has never been a team problem.
You think, D,
That's
huh?
a good point. That's a really good point.
Well, yeah. So congratulations to Browns fans, which is I know it's a big deal for you guys. That
Yeah, way to
18
almost
years.
give it away.
Yeah. 18 years, man. It's a long
18
time.
years. Wow, Donnie, think about 18 years ago. What was your life like 18 years ago?
So yeah,
Nope.
I was 24. I did have one kid. She was only 2.
Yeah.
Grace was 2.
Okay.
But I was still like, I lived in a house with a buddy of mine, and I remember the last time the Browns went to the playoffs, we had like a party at my house. We had a bunch of Hungry Howie's pizza. They were like, Hungry Howie's was the first $5 pizza back like 18 years ago.
When they had the first flavored crust.
Yes, Cajun crust. I just sent that in a text yesterday. I was like, let's do some Hungry Howie's with some Cajun crust pizza. So
That's just funny because Cajun crust just means burnt.
But yeah, I mean, literally 18 years ago. Think about that. What were we all doing? I mean, what the heck?
I think I was in Michigan. I was in the Flint Saginaw area. I was getting ready to go to Tucson, Arizona for a year. And what about you, D? What were you doing 18 years ago?
I was on the road doing comedy.
Wow.
18, man, you sit back and you're like, 18 years ago, I was probably like on the outskirts of Saginaw, like or Traverse City, or some shit like that. Playing a club where they brought you up to AM radio and just turned it up real loud and then turned it down.
There's nothing like being brought up to stage by Paul Harvey.
Is it possible that our lives were more fun back then? Is that being unfair to your current life?
No, it's Donnie can't say it because Ashley's somewhere around him right now. It's 100% was more fun back then. I had a bar schedule at the time. I was at a different bar literally every night of the week, except Mondays. We played Drunk Clue.
Yeah.
At home. We had
which is what, just drunk people going, is this it?
well, I think we played very seriously until we forgot that we were playing and we were just hammered, and then the game just sat there while we all laughed and talked. And
Ashley, Ashley is standing right off camera right now and watches every. She's like, when
she's not even listening to the stream. She just heard, "How was your life 18 years ago?"
Well, I think Ashley might have still been in high school 18 years ago.
It's like she says Donnie is living his best life right now.
Okay? Hi, Ashley.
There's the implied if he knows what's good for him.
Right. Oh, by far.
Donnie,
I actually believe that with Donnie, though. I think but here's the thing, and it's not. Ashley's awesome, and I love her, and I think that she probably makes Donnie's life infinitely better. But I believe that Donnie lives every day as his best life.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Donnie, as we ask you if you can confirm this statement that you're living your best life right now, if you rapidly blink while you say it, we know what's going on.
I am.
You need help.
Same words, herringbone cheesecake.
So either a highlight or a low light. How was everybody's Christmas break?
Oh man, long. Where have you? I haven't seen you guys in like a month and a half.
I know. D, what about you? Was it either highlight or a low light from Christmas break?
There's so many.
Oh,
like there's so many things. I'm just trying to decide which thing needs to go first. I found out that you can actually give a mold of or an artificial likeness of your manhood to somebody that you care about.
You dip it in plaster?
It's called Clone Your Willy, and evidently that's a thing. They send you a kit, and it's a 2-person job from everything that I understand.
Well, for you, mate.
And so like it was just a really weird kind of, it came up where somebody was like, yeah, I was going out of town and I didn't want my wife to go without. And
this is usable? I thought it was like a
no, it's definitely, yes, it's usable. And
anything's usable if you're brave enough.
I think I think if you add food coloring to it, you can make it different colors. So like you could go with the unicorn, or like the swirled rainbow. I don't know exactly, but I know you have to hold the mold on, and somebody has to keep you aroused.
Right? Yeah,
you need a fluffer.
Yeah, because you can't go in there just feeling okay, right? Because nobody wants your okay penis. Everybody wants the I'm really excited to be here penis.
Yeah.
And
I was in the pool.
Yeah.
What about the I'm just glad everyone's having a good time penis?
Yeah, just like, hey buddy, I'm just here hanging out, just trying to like socialize. But so yeah. And it's I was like, that's very, I would think you have a very high opinion of your pee-pee, and to think that like that's the one that needs to stay.
Right? Talk about a stocking stuffer. That's a heck of a gift.
Hey, just so you know, guys, all know it's the opposite for me. You know I like you when I don't give you a mold of my junk.
Like, is that a thing that ladies can do? And if that's the case, when you finish and it looks like a stocking from Christmas, do you still give that to someone? like if you didn't realize how deep and wide it was, you're like, holy shit, maybe.
Wow. Thank you. There you go, Jared. Thank you for that info, D.
Wait. How do you get the cast off?
Oh yeah.
I assume you say hurtful shit to him until it gets small. Like,
So, B, you haven't used your kit yet?
You tell
First
the
of all,
fluffer to stop.
my opinion of my penis is not that high. I mean, God bless people who can do that and look somebody in the eye and think that's a good present. I'm not that guy. I know that fake penis needs to come with other things like a car or
a personality.
Yeah, like it needs to, like, hey, honey, I put a Bluetooth in it so it has a speaker, and
underneath it is the check for rent.
Yeah,
I feel like mine requires a lot of upsell before the reveal.
and see, you can't, because that's like literally that's the only product that you should probably undersell. Like make it so underwhelming that when you get it, you're like, wow, it wasn't nearly as bad as you said it was going to be.
Good, Donnie.
Well, there's like an old saying that I never thought would actually be a real thing, but if you got a few of your buddies together, you could actually present someone a basket of dicks. Just make like one of those edible arrangements.
Hey, guess which one is mine?
Right.
Yeah, and here's the problem: if she guesses them all right, she's a whore.
Well, I think Gina's really trying hard not to chime in.
I don't think we don't horse shame on this show, right? We don't.
No, we don't. There's no shaming.
But
there's no such thing as whores. There's just good American citizens. That's all it is.
If you guess every penis in my circle of friends right, guess what?
I've got an idea.
You may not be a whore, but you may be tiptoeing on the border.
I've got an Andrew idea. Okay.
What?
So you know how like they have that Cameo app where you can have like celebrities give messages to your friends.
Yes.
You can have like you pay them a fee and then they give you a message. Like there should be an app where you can go on there. You know, a lot of people have like their bucket lists or not their hall pass list. You can order a strap-on of your lady's hall pass celebrity, and you just put it on. And say, baby, today I am Chris Brown.
Antonio Banderas.
And here's the problem with that, Donnie. As much of a wonderful idea as that is, it's just not the penis, though. It would have to come with a mask and maybe like a fake credit card where you could be like, oh, see, and after this, we have Red Lobster for every day that you want. You know.
When you said mask, I pictured like one of those that's like colored, but it's flat, printed on like magazine paper.
Yeah,
little wire.
Yeah, you put it on your face
with a cheap plastic suit and just
little eyes cut out so you could see.
Hey, Colleen, can we not use the Antonio Banderas penis today? No. You're starting to use it a lot.
Your fantasy is starting to feel like The Purge.
Oh my God.
Cool.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, 2021.
Was it? Yeah, I mean we're 10 minutes in talking about Antonio Banderas' dick, so we're good.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, we've talked about
10 more
everybody's
minutes
dick.
than Antonio Banderas got.
So for Demetrius, the highlight for Christmas break was the penis statues. Okay.
Wait a minute, but I have to know this. I have to know this, D. How did you find that out? Like, who gave you a plaster penis?
Nobody gave me a plastic penis.
Let's
shame on you
for the record
for assuming that we're still in 1980 using plaster to make penises.
Oh, what are they made out of now?
We have come, pardon the pun, come a long way.
Well, I got one of those hand statues that you put your hands in like a couple years ago for my niece, and I thought it was like around the same thing. Yeah. You put it in.
From what I understand, and it took me a lot to like ask all the questions. It took a lot for me to do that. It comes with a mold that you fill with a certain with a latex
silicone or latex,
some kind of material, and then you shove your manhood inside of it. right?
I mean, wouldn't you
And
have to
then
like lay on your stuff? You'd have to like have a massage table, but instead of the face hole, it's like a dick hole. I mean, how do you do this? What are the logistics involved
You
here?
mean you don't have one of those?
how I understood it to take
A
place
milking table.
was there was standing, like he had to stand and hold with both hands, hold it against his pelvis, while his significant other held up an iPad full of porn to make sure that said process would maintain.
So your significant other was digitally fluffing.
So you know someone that did it?
We just catch them while they're asleep and have morning wood.
do you know someone that did it, D?
I cannot confirm or deny that.
So yes.
Okay.
So
Yes.
I did tell them that this was something I was going to speak about.
All right.
All right.
All right. So let's go over to Gina, either a highlight or a low.
I can't. Okay, mine has to do with kids, and it's really hard to segue from D's thing to mine. Mine,
Absolutely
we just had
not. It comes right out of that, and that's how you get them.
from plastic penises. That's what we got. We got kids. We had an awesome Christmas though. It was there's a lot of us. I have the 3 foster boys here, and then I have mine. 3 were here. And so it took about 2 hours to open presents. So like
Awesome.
it was awesome. But then I think like after like an hour or so, everybody was kind of like, okay, like I'm kind of done with this now. Like we're hungry. We have like there's other things to do. But it did take a long time. But the kids had an awesome Christmas, and the boys. It was most important to have the boys have a good Christmas because their year was pretty crappy. So they had a phenomenal Christmas, and it was wonderful. And I mean, I think we're all still kind of riding the high, which is strange. 2 weeks after, 2 weeks after Christmas, we're all still kind of like excited. Even though I took down all the decorations already, I was done.
What about you, people?
I had 2. I've had 9 of the last 12 days off of work.
I think you're echoing.
Yeah, sorry about that. Now I'm better. I don't hear it.
Very
But no, I've had 9 of the last 12 days off of work, and I've decided to cook more at home rather than eat out as much.
Oh.
So, like, I made stroganoff from scratch. I made this like honey mustard chicken bacon thing. Things like that.
Oh my God, beef stroganoff! I haven't had beef stroganoff in
That's good stuff.
probably definitely over a decade, and it's an amazing lost food. It
Wow.
sounds amazing.
It's not lost at my house. We make it.
Do you really? Yeah. Put that over. You put that over the noodles. Oh man, it is so good. Or see, that's one you can do over noodles or rice. You can do it over either, and it's you put the stroganoff gravy. What the gravy?
Yeah. Or you can drink it with a big enough straw, right, Andrew?
Yeah. It's so good with what I like to call chips of sausage.
Stroganoff. What is a food like? Here's the thing: we don't eat like we did it like it did as a kid because our kids are so stupidly picky. But like I remember like broccoli casserole, which I love. There's so many foods that we just don't eat anymore.
Something really easy and basic that I ate a lot as a kid, and Ashley makes once in a while was, like you buy those giant. It's like a sausage from the store. Like you cook it in a pan, and then you have like either like mashed potatoes or au gratin potatoes or something. It's just sausage and potatoes. It's just like
Kielbasa.
Basic kielbasa. It's not. Well, we do the kielbasa too, but like it's not technically kielbasa. It's like it comes in like a horseshoe at the store. Like,
Smoked sausage.
Smoked sausage.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh man,
yeah, potatoes
that
like,
forever. Yes,
and it's like easy. It's basic. It's easy. You just whip it up. It's like, oh my god, it's perfect.
au gratin potatoes. Too.
You remember those? You bake them,
Mix
it up, bake it up.
And
You guys are reminiscing about should I make every day. I'm sitting here like, yeah, I remember him. I made them last week.
Yeah.
Most of us don't get that stuff. Like I remember even box au gratin potatoes were good. We used to eat box au gratin potatoes.
No, you think they were good, but
Crocker
you eat them now, they're not good.
What?
Betty Crocker was the shit. Back in the day, there were 5 faces on a box that you could trust. and that was Betty Crocker's spoon. That was Uncle Ben, God rest his black soul. That was the 3-fingered glove from Hamburger Helper.
Yeah.
Chef Boyardee and the Lucky Charms guy. Those were the 5. If you saw those 5 faces in your house, you know you were eating good.
Why the Lucky Charms guy over the Trix rabbit?
The marshmallows, bro.
Yeah.
Really?
Marshmallows.
See, for me, my favorite cereal as a kid was the Captain Crunch. Now you had to have a Crunch.
You had to have
Did you enjoy having a bleeding mouth?
Wait, what?
Oh my god.
Bleeding mouth.
Captain Crunch destroys your mouth. If you enjoy having the first layer of your gum line removed.
I don't know when the first Batman movie came out, but like the one with
Michael Keaton,
but it was such a big deal. They had a Batman cereal, and I was obsessed with it. So I got the Batman cereal, and I'm at home, and I open it up, and I pour it in the bowl, and it was just all the yellow parts of Captain Crunch shaped like little bats, and that was it. And I was like so upset. Like, what? This is just Captain Crunch.
They always do these themes, like they have a theme. Because my Josie, the 2-year-old, she likes with trolls.
Yeah.
So they have trolls, but it's all it is tricks in a different shape. Like there's nothing new about it.
I saw oatmeal pie cereal. Somebody posted it yesterday on Facebook. You know, like the Little Debbie oatmeal cream pies. It's oatmeal cream pie cereal. And I've never wanted a cereal so bad in my whole adult life as I want this cereal now. I want to try this cereal so badly.
The way
I do have a new goal for 2021 that involves cereal. I want to have a meal. I want to have a breakfast that the 90s cereal commercials told us was part of a complete breakfast. So I want the bowl of cereal with the toast and the milk and the orange juice and the bowl of fruit and maybe the sausage on the side. That whole thing.
Well, Chris, that worked right into your previous 2020 resolution to cook more at home.
Yeah.
You can do that now.
It's not even cooking. It's toasting some toast, pouring some cereal, and cutting some fruit. That's not cooking.
Hey, whoa, what is cooking?
That.
The one that I never understood about the complete breakfast though was having they always showed the glass of milk, but there's milk in your cereal. It makes no why do I need to add milk to my deal if I've already got milk in my cereal? I never understood that as being part of a healthy meal or whatever.
Yeah, no part of that was part of a healthy meal. You do understand that the only part of the healthy meal, complete breakfast, was maybe the fruit.
I just cannot Ashley this morning. Where is she? Can't you guys be on at the same time? I hate her not being on.
Where are you? Come tell us about this.
I miss her so much.
Wait, Ashley, you got a bowl, you pour in the caramel corn, and then you poured some milk in it, and then you just sat there with a spoon and you ate it like you had invented the greatest thing on earth, and I salute you for it, because that does sound terrific.
Caramel corn cereal?
Good, Demetrius.
Yeah, I don't know where she is. I'm trying to find her.
I don't know, like, what the anyway is going on right now. You guys, like, especially you, Chris, right now, you sound so angry that as a kid you've been tricked for so many years. Like, and now you're gonna vent. Like, it was the choices that were made in the 80s that have made you so bitter. It started with my complete breakfast, you sons of bitches.
Well, no, I've never had the complete breakfast. I've always seen the commercials, and they all the cereal. I don't even know if they say them now, but they're always like part of a complete breakfast. And in the 90s, they used to show a whole table where you had your bowl, your toast, your fruit, your meat, and like couple drinks and everything. Like, that was what a normal American person was supposed to eat every single morning to have a complete breakfast.
That was just liability. That was liability, so they didn't get sued. Like, I ate this for breakfast every year, and that was malnourished.
And they were like, and then they said, well, you must be having a stroke right now because it's malnourished there. And had you not watched the commercial, you would see that this is only a part of a complete breakfast. If I gave you a tire and you tried to drive to work on it, and I told you this was part of a complete car, whose fault would this be?
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, what kind of legal team do they have? Like, make sure you show the toast and the bacon, so we don't get sued.
Oh my God, dude!
Because there was somebody who sued them. They were like, you said this was breakfast. Yep. That's how changes happen. People get sued.
Oh, Jesus. All right. Well, welcome to the show, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Our first show of the new year. Angela Marie and Jared McKean and Misty Marie. And did I say Misty Marie twice? No, I said Ashley Marie. And then Cheryl, of course, is here as well. If you guys are watching the show or listening to the show, please hit your likes, your shares, your hearts, all that stuff. Share it to your page. Say, hey, if you're looking for something to do in the new year, check out this show. Or you can hear more crappy fake phone scams, but we don't get those here. So check it out, share it. We appreciate.
The only reason we don't crank call people is because it's 7 a.m. and nobody's answering.
Yeah, no one's answering us. Did you see that the phone call Donald Trump made to the Secretary of State of Georgia saying, "Hey, you need to find me 11,000 votes."
Dude.
Bye, Gina.
Look, we have to examine why he is fighting so hard right now. Like it seems like he's running from something. I don't like he's like if he leaves the White House, it's like what was that movie where you couldn't say anything? It was like, and it was made by the that guy who was Jack Ryan in the Amazon movies. Do you know? It's like.
Yeah.
It was so good
Hunger
they made
Games?
3 of them. They're
Hunger
making
Games?
the 3rd one. It was about being quiet. They went on this vacation.
Quiet Place.
The Quiet Place. Like maybe that's what's going on with him. If he leaves the White House, something is going to eat him.
Right. Yeah, I think he's afraid of irrelevance or something. You know.
I see. There's a couple different things. He's either afraid of irrelevance, like Donnie said. He's either afraid of getting into legal trouble. They say that there's legal issues, or the third one is he's just making so much money off this saying the election was fake. He's made like $200 or $300 million from people donating because he's going with this fake election thing. So why would you stop something that's making money? I mean, it's one of those 3 reasons we don't know. Supposedly,
because what he's doing.
It's a lot simpler. He's a narcissist and just can't accept it.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't.
I can't spend too much energy.
I can't. Yeah, I can't see that being a thing anymore. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he's never been fired ever in his life.
He's never been in a position to be fired.
And I mean, it's just a thing for him. And maybe he's crazy. Maybe he's absolutely batshit crazy.
Here's one of the things. There comes a point where if you've always gotten your way, and this is a only child thing too. Like for me, I obsess over. I think that anything can go your way if you just obsess over it because there's an answer. There's a way. There's a pathway. There's some sort of answer. And I think with him, it's always been that his whole life. So if he wanted something is bad enough, and he kept saying it over and over, or would obsess over it, eventually they would find his handlers, his people would find a way to make it happen. And it sounds like that's what's happening now. It's like if you say it so much that there is a way to do this. I am not leaving. Blah 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 blah. And I think there's some of that involved.
And once again, it goes back to, I mean, even Prince had that problem. God rest his soul. But even Prince had the wherewithal to know that he needed to hire somebody to tell him real shit. You know, like Prince one night woke up at like 3:00 in the morning and wanted to buy a llama. He wanted a llama at 3:00 in the morning, but he had,
as we all do at one time or another.
Yeah. And he had a guy who went, fuck no, Prince. You can't get a llama at 3 o'clock in the morning and send him back to bed. Like, no, nobody.
I want that job.
Yeah, like I know it's a hard position and nobody really wants to hire for it, but everybody needs that guy.
It is very interesting. Everyone needs someone that's going to take them back to reality. Here's a perfect example, I think. And someone said you just lost Gina when you're talking about Trump. So we're past Trump.
Reading my junk mail, I've never opened to see what's inside of these Capital
One credit card.
So I'm checking out this.
Hey, Gina, you should run outside and tell everybody what they get off on their pre percentage, and then have somebody go, "Hey, why are you yelling?" And you can go, "I'm Gina. That's what I do."
It's exactly how it goes every morning in my house.
I was saying something.
Just forget. It's okay.
No. Women tend to do this, and I think maybe guys too. I don't know.
Well,
as part of the court order, Chris must back away anytime women are mentioned. You can't even be around the word. I want you 100 feet away from the
Very
word.
strict order.
Women surround themselves with girls, and they no matter what it is. Oh, you go, girl. You got it, girl. You're right. Blah, blah, blah. They don't have anyone that's going to tell them don't buy a llama at 3 a.m. And that gets a lot of women into trouble because all their friends, all they want to do is support. We're going to support you. We're going to support you in anything you do. You're the best. You can do this. You can have a llama.
I don't know. I feel like there's a limit in that support, and llama at 3 a.m. is that limit.
Yeah, I think women would call another woman out if they were like, "Girl, I just went on llama.com at 3 a.m. and bought me 2 llamas." People would be like, "Bitch, what are you doing?"
They'll be here Friday.
Yeah. Thank God for Prime.
And then I don't have any friends, so I just order llamas without talking to anybody or discussing it.
See, that's what I'm saying. But most women, it's all they do is support any crazy idea that you have, as opposed to telling you need some don't buy llama girls.
And sometimes I feel like they do that because they've spent most of their day telling their men the shit that they can't do. So they have to balance that out. Like when a guy comes home and he's like, "You know what, honey, I have this great idea for a tinfoil company. I'm going to go and I'm going to jump into every garbage can and just recycle their tinfoil, and we're going to be millionaires."
That's a great idea.
And she would go, "Oh no, dumbass, that is not something that's happening today. You would be better off filling out an application for DoorDash, and you don't have a car. So how about that?"
You know, I have to say, all this talk about buying llamas made me Google it, and they are surprisingly reasonably priced.
Like how much?
For what?
Anywhere from $1,000 to $4,000.
And that is. And can I ask you, Chris, at what point did you go, "That's reasonable"?
I mean, you're buying a fucking llama. I mean, $1,000. People pay $1,000 for a dog.
Okay, but would you consider that reasonable? If they were to spend
buying another living creature, I
dog,
would say $1,000 is fairly reasonable.
You're buying an exotic creature. I mean,
yeah, I could get a stunning, big, solid black female llama. That's the most expensive.
Like slavery, bro.
I know, right?
Like
that's the most expensive for $6,000.
Stop. You're going to get all those child trafficking people up on you who are like, "This is
I want to be clear, we're talking about
that much."
We're talking about llamas.
Can you potty train a llama?
Would you try? What do? Rub its nose in it?
I don't know. I'm wondering. That's what I'm wondering.
Do you know how strong their necks are? You would have to dangle from that thing for days. Bad llama.
Oh my god!
A rolled up newspaper or something.
Yeah, whack, and then watch it chase you around your backyard for a day.
Start spitting at you.
These llamas have weird names too. Like this one's named Lady Suspicious.
Well,
this one's named Midnight Magic.
It's always the quiet ones. So quietly suspicious would be correct. We lost Gina on Llama Talk, I guess.
Oh man.
Is that what we can do now when we're just tired? We can just leave. Like we can just hang up.
Trump and llamas.
Hey,
It's the combination of Trump and llama.
This is like last man standing
with the llama talk.
Yeah.
Until we're just gonna hang out until like each one of us drops off one by one.
Whenever one of us gets disinterested, just drop off.
Just drop off. The last person on the call gets to wrap up the show and gets a $10 Amazon gift card.
Oh my God. Did everyone get to talk about their highlights and lowlights from highlight or lowlight from Christmas?
Well, I spent like 20 hours in a car at one point.
I know you drive to Florida. Like, I'm sorry, people weren't supposed to know that.
No, it's not a secret.
Yeah, that's like his thing.
We usually fly down there, but it's crazy times. So we went and did Christmas at my sister's house, and when on the drive down, we broke it in half. But on the way home, we freaking left at 5 a.m. and we're making really great time on the way back. But all of a sudden, we got stuck in traffic in Georgia and Tennessee, and it took us like 20 hours to get home. And we got home at like 1 a.m. I was like,
you went straight through?
Yeah.
20 hours? Oh my God. Did you actually switch the difference? Did you do it the whole time?
Ashley drove like 4 hours. She kicked me.
See,
no, but that's great.
That's the difference, bro. That's the difference between the start of a family trip drive and the end. Because in the beginning, you're willing to break up the time driving because you haven't spent a lot of time with everybody. So you're like, okay, that's cool. And then at the end, it's like, fuck it, just strap in. I'm driving all the way fucking home.
We're not stopping.
We're not stopping. I've spent 7 days with you.
You have cups back there.
Well,
yeah, pissing them.
Well, I actually drove 4 hours, which was awesome because the last time we drove to Florida was like 5 years ago, and she drove 45 minutes.
So she's working up her stamina.
Hey, babe, you gotta drive. I need a break. She's driving for like a half hour. I look over and she's smacking herself like, I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm falling asleep. I'm like, falling asleep? You've been driving for 30 minutes. 4 in the
and you're not even smacking yourself hard enough to stay awake. What is that shit?
Yeah. I was driving. I was starting to get tired. She's like, you want me to smack you? I was like, no. I'm trying to keep this alive. Oh, my God. I will say one funny thing, though. So basically, my goal is to get to Ohio by like between 6 and 7, so we can get home by like 10ish or something like that, or 7 and 8. We get to Ohio by like, it was like 10:30. So I'm in Ohio. Ohio's like a 2.5, 3 hour state, and we're like a quarter of the way through Ohio, and I'm like, babe, I don't think I'm gonna make it. She's like, she's like, what do you mean? I was like, I'm getting tired. She's like, Donnie, we have our whole family in this car, and I was like, I'm not going to crash the car. I mean, I'm going to pull over and rest. I'm not going to drive until
you were saying that you were just done with everything.
Yeah, I was going to like Star Wars Force die, just evaporate into the seat. Like I'm not going to make it. Poof. I just
isn't it? Like, why? Like, honestly, we can all sit here and understand that when you said I'm not gonna make it, that you were tired. Yeah. I'm always amazed at like the doomsday like A to Z jump that like some women will give you when you look at them and you're like, man, I just don't think, and they're like, our family's in this car, and you're like you of all people know me. You know that when I look at you, I'm not looking at you saying I'm going to smash this car into a tree and kill us all.
Well, I feel like it's because they put so much pressure on us that they're actually kind of waiting for us to throw in the towel.
Like they're sending out text messages. Who's got January 4th at 7 a.m. on the pool?
Yeah, I think I broke him.
Girls, I did it. Oh, you go, girl.
You're 4 months ahead of schedule. Look at you.
She's shaking her head looking at me.
I can't even right now. Well, good. I saw you went down and you went to how was because you went to an amusement park. You went to
Universal for the first time ever. Yeah, it was
first time ever. What'd you think?
It was a lot bigger than I was expecting. Because I'm a big YouTube guy. Whenever I go somewhere, I do something, I like to watch a lot of YouTube. Get ready, watch the rides, look through the park, and my sister's like, yeah, if we work hard, and we did 3 days in the park, and we didn't even cover like half of it. Like, it's just huge. Well, there's 2 parks. There's the Islands of Adventure and then Universal Studios. But like, we went in early to ride this one ride, like that Hagrid's roller coaster that had an 8-hour wait last year when it came out. So if you go in early, you can like get in line and then ride it. Like, it only takes like an hour. But to walk, we stayed on site to walk from our hotel room through like the city walk to the ride itself took like a half an hour just to walk there. So like, we get on the ride and we walk back.
Is this a normal half-hour walk or a half-hour walk because you had like 3 kids with you?
No, it was just like me and like 3 other people because it was like in the morning. So everyone, like most people were sleeping. This is like 6 a.m. to try to get on this like big like ride. So basically by the time we got back, like we had to come back, wake everybody up, get ready for a big day at the park. We had already walked like 3 miles. I was exhausted. I'm like, I think I'm done, but you guys want to get ready to go? I needed like a 2-hour break just to get the actual day started. The place is huge.
Wow. I've never been to Universal in Florida, but I've been to the Universal in California, which I love and is amazing because
the only one that counts.
You actually see where movies are made, like movies were actually made on that set. Sometimes they're making movies as you're taking the tour.
Really?
Is not the same in Florida, I'm guessing?
Well, no, yeah. In Florida, it's all just amusement park stuff.
Oh, see, yeah, in California, it's because it's an actual working movie studio. So you're going through there and you're like, oh, I recognize that. How, like, there's the New York, you walk down New York, they drive you down New York. And it's cool because you're driving in a trolley the whole time. So if you're fucking lazy like me, you get to see all this cool stuff and you don't even have to get out of the trolley.
Well, so at Orlando, they recreate all that stuff. But it's just like,
it's not real.
Not real. Some of them are real, and it's like a store or like a bar.
In California, it's not real either, Andrew. Right? It's not real.
Real like, sets that they use though.
Yeah. Like you can't shit on his fake because you think your fake is better.
Well, I will tell you. If you're not a big roller coaster fan, like the rides were amazing. Like the indoor, like the Transformers ride. It's like you sit in a car that moves around and you really do feel like you're flying and all kinds of crazy stuff. There's some really amazing things down there.
One of the coolest things I remember from Universal, and I still remember to this day, because it's been a handful of times, so I love the place, but there's they have an old Western set, and it's from the old Western days, when they used to make them back in the day. And
the new one?
you see the doors are really small. Like they're short, and they said the reason that is because the actors were all shorter, so they make the doors short to make them look taller. So like John Wayne, all those old school actors, they were all short. Now I do have a theory about that. Is that if you look at actors, it's people that they went into acting because they weren't good at sports or maybe they weren't doing other things, so they're generally smaller people. I think actors like Tom Cruise is little. I think some of the actors are generally smaller anyway, because acting is such a open place where anyone can do it. There's no, not a lot of judgment or athletic ability. You can, if you've been sitting in your room, you can act. You know what? I don't know how to explain it without sound. I don't want to sound like an asshole. But
it just seems like
too late.
I never understood how actors like John Wayne became like the epitome of manliness, because he wears makeup. He's wearing like back in the 60s and 70s and stuff. He was the epitome of manliness. They would hold him up as the icon of all that is man, and then completely ignore the fact that he's caked with makeup in every single shot you see him in.
Well, that's what they did back in the day. I mean, that's what they do now. I mean, that's actors. You wear makeup.
Well, I'm not saying that wearing makeup is bad. I'm just saying back then the view of masculinity would have been you don't wear makeup because you're a man. But yeah, he did it all the time, and he was an actor. He wasn't even like a sports icon. He wasn't even like a war hero. He wasn't anything. He literally skipped. He skipped military service. He skipped all that and went into acting.
See, Chris was more offensive than I was.
Like any
6 one, half dozen the other.
Do you just open like when people open time capsules? Do you just wait for them to pull shit out so you can hate it? Is that like you're like, man, I can't wait for them to pull out from the 80s the Cabbage Patch Doll because those things didn't grow up in Cabbage Patches and it was really an orphanage and they weren't even babies and it's horrible, blah.
The heads were really hard and they were actually a risk to children.
Yes.
My sister bloody nose.
I had a Cabbage Patch doll. I like.
Have you ever boiled the Cabbage Patch Doll, sauerkraut doll? It's horrible, horrible. It's just a German doll with a gun.
Can you imagine people having kids? How just he would just be smacking him with reality all the time.
I remember the time I had to carry my own shit out of the house. My mom didn't give me a toilet with plumbing. You kids are so lucky. Remember I'll tell you what a complete breakfast was in my day. You wake up and then you gnaw on the leg of a horse, and then you come back inside and suck the marrow out of a cow bone. That was a complete breakfast for me.
You know, little Lily, that Baby Alive doll isn't live. It's got fucking batteries. Look,
Yeah.
You take the batteries out, it still doesn't. You don't have batteries. Okay, this isn't real.
You realize I'm talking about a real live person, not toys, right?
I'll show you what a baby alive is. Here, take care of your sister for a week. There you go. Happy birthday, little Nicole.
Technically, G.I. Joe was not a real American hero.
Yes, he never really saw action.
Yeah. Do you know Cobra Commander never really commanded any cobras?
The only action G.I. Joe saw was with Bobby. Okay.
Yeah, and he was shorter, like a real Hollywood actor.
Yes, it was crazy. They had to make Eternius smaller for He-Man and his crew, so they could look real big.
Whenever my sister and I would play together, it was really awkward when like He-Man would marry Barbie because he like just came up to her shoulders barely.
But that's I think in that regard, that's what most bodybuilders look like. I mean, I think that's a dead-on kind of like doll to person kind of ratio. That's real.
I've always some people, they say, or women especially, are intimidated. Like they don't want to go out with guys that are shorter than them. That's on a lot of women's deal breaker list.
Yeah,
which is why I always loved dating women that were taller than me. Like that wasn't. I wasn't intimidated by that. I love it. I felt that was a win. That was a huge win.
Did you like ask her to bend over and then you whispered in her ear, "How's it feel to settle?"
Oh, good times. All right. Gotta say hi to my Uncle George, who's listening this morning. Hey, Uncle George, how are you? All right, we got a few minutes left. Final thoughts, anybody? Your first show of the new year. What are your thoughts ahead for the new year? Do you truly believe in your heart that this is going to be a good year?
Yeah.
And then we gotta get we're gonna do final. Let's do Tiefl's news, and then we'll get final thoughts. So then so hold on to that thought about the new year. Go ahead, T. What do you got? What do you got news wise, Tiefl?
Well, I've got one really good story that I think is just fun for the whole family. A Williston, North Dakota man by the name of Caleb has taught us all that when it comes to Facebook, we should really, really be careful on how we respond to friend requests. See, over Christmas, Caleb tried to friend somebody on Facebook that used to be a coworker, a former boss. When that person didn't respond right away to his friend request, he started sending threatening messages to get his friend request accepted. When that didn't succeed, Caleb went over to his this coworker's father's house and broke down the door in an attempt to get his friend request accepted.
That's weird.
So just be careful. You can start getting random friend requests be very careful about the ones that you decide to ignore.
So, who shows the door? Why aren't you accepting my friend request?
So I have a funny story about that. If I could just, it's just on the same line. I got a message from a guy in my Facebook messages, and he has like a logo business, and he's like, "Hey, Donnie, how's it going? And do you need any logo work?" And I didn't, so I didn't respond, and I didn't recognize the person, but I thought I was friends with him because he messaged me. So then he's like, "Hey, seriously, what's going on?" And like, "Donnie, why aren't you talking to me?" So I was like, I guess this is a friend of mine who thinks I'm ignoring him. So I called him, and it was like some guy in a whole nother country, like barely spoke. I was like, "Hey, man, sorry, I wasn't ignoring your messages. I just thought you were spamming me." He's like, "Hello?" And I was like, "Do I know you?" I was like, "I don't really need the logo work." He's like, "Okay, thank you, sorry," and like hung up the phone because you can call people over Messenger,
right, on Facebook. Yeah, Facebook Messenger now.
So I called a spammer and he picked up.
Great.
That happened to me. Somebody friend requested me. I figured it was they friend requested me, and I recognized the name as somebody I had actually met, but it was only briefly. Whenever I was doing stand up, but I recognized the name, so I was like, screw it, and I accepted it. Almost immediately when I accepted it, they called me on Facebook Messenger just to chat.
Wow.
When Facebook Messenger rings to me, I'm like, oh God, it throws me off. I'm like, I don't. Facebook is cool. We can messenger. I don't want to talk to you.
Why I messaged you?
Well, yes, exactly. If I wanted to talk to you, I would have called you. So, all right. Well, let that be a lesson to you. Make sure you're careful about ignoring people on Facebook because it reminds me that commercial that I played, that Nissan commercial I played on the air a month or so ago, where the guy just came to this girl's house. She's like,
"Yeah,
hey Dean, hey, I liked your picture."
Yeah, not much.
Thanks, Dean. so weird. All right, final thoughts. Georgia Tiefel's sister says she thinks 2020 is just going to be a round 2, or 2021 is just going to be a 2020 round 2. What do you think? Go. We'll start with in general, and then we want to see how Susan wants to know how the Brownies are going to do. Dee and Donnie. So we'll start first in general. How do you think the year is going to go? I really do think it's going to be a good year. And I know we still have a few more, probably half the year still going to be battling this bullshit. But I don't know. I think it's going to be a good year this year.
A couple weeks to flatten the curve, the usual stuff.
Yeah. All right, Browns, go ahead. What do you guys think?
Now they have to go to Pittsburgh. So of course, they've got the tools to do it. It's just going to be it's going to be a heck of a game. Both teams are going to go. They're going to be going hard. This is postseason. It's a whole different ball game. Like we're going to see.
This is the closest spread too. They're giving Pittsburgh 3.5 points.
Yeah.
They're giving the Browns 3.5. So out of all the spreads in the playoffs, this is the lowest.
Yeah, it's going to be a heck of a game.
And what is it? Is it Sunday? Is it a Saturday game? When's the game?
Sunday night, actually. Sunday night at 8:15.
Oh, when's the last time the Browns have played in prime time like that?
Well, they flexed a couple weeks ago. They flexed their afternoon game to the primetime game because of the importance of it. They play the Giants in one. But yeah, it's going to be crazy. They match up really well. The Steelers defense is very, 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 very good. So.
See, this is all I'm going to say is you guys, Browns fans can never just be happy. 10-5 was something that nobody ever thought you'd ever see. Right. And now they made the playoffs. Now all you guys are going to be talking shit about how they're going to make it to the Super Bowl. Look, if you got a fat girl and she just lost 100 pounds, do you put her in the Miss USA pageant? No, you make her lose another 100 pounds, but you keep being supportive.
Well, here's the thing. We want it all because honestly, playoffs is great, but everybody loses except for one team every single year. There's only one team that can really talk shit to everybody. Because I don't care if you will go to the Super Bowl and lose. If you're the Browns, you didn't win a game. You'd be like, so at least we lost early and didn't have to have a heartbreak. But But here, let me just tell you a little bit of Browns facts. Like, so the last 2 times they went to the playoffs, 94, they beat the Patriots in the first round, lost to the Steelers in the second round. 2002, first round, lost to the Steelers in Pittsburgh. So 94 it was in Pittsburgh too. So now we're in 2020, and the game is going to be in Pittsburgh in the first round. So like, I mean, it's been 18 years, but we definitely don't want to see a repeat. And it was a 4th down play. The Browns were up like 15 points on the Steelers the last time they played in the playoffs, and the Steelers came back and won. It was very heartbreaking, but so now we're playing the Steelers in the opening round. So we definitely don't want to see a repeat of that. But
good luck to the Browns. Great seeing everybody again. Seeing you guys, Demetrius Nicodemus, Chris Stiefel, Donnie P. I'm Andrew Z. For Gina, Eastside Southside Gina. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.